Hey guys, it is your friendly neighborhood pastor, Pastor Brandon here. Wanted to continue our discussion on community groups and just wanted to thank you guys so much for leading and shepherding well our community groups. We've been going through this book, 8 Habits of Effective Small Group Leaders, and I found it to be really encouraging and very challenging at the same time. I want to encourage you. You can go back and look through some of the previous videos, but this particular video, we're going to go through chapter 4, which is about contacting your members. The last chapter was really about inviting and getting new people involved and engaged, but this one is actually about maintaining and keeping the ones that you have. It's where we would get the phrase shepherd. So a shepherd's responsibility is not just to invite new sheep in, but it's also to make sure that the sheep that are there under his care are well taken care of. And so one of the ways that we can do that is regularly contact our members. It sounds like a little thing, but it's actually a big thing. And this book was written in, gosh, I don't even know the year. Doesn't say. Well, I'm sure it says, but I just can't seem to find it. Yeah, 2001. So this book was written before the iPhone. It was so now think about how available technology is to us to help us contact regularly and stay in communication with our community group members. So a couple of things that I gleaned from this chapter was just kind of like the reasons for contacting them, why it's important. As a pastor, I get this because this is kind of what I try to do with our church as a whole, but you are kind of like the pastor and the shepherd for your members of your community group. And so, the first thing is contacting your group regularly, your members regularly, helps you grow your group. He kind of talks about here, like one practical way to do that is as soon as someone comes and visits, make sure you get their phone number and give them a call, shoot them an email, send them a text message. So in our culture, mainly like a text message would probably be the best, and thank them for coming. Ask them, if they had a good time, and invite them to come back next week. That's it. It's that simple, and that can really go a long way. So recently we've been doing this with a woman who's been coming to our group. Her name is Allison, and she's only come to Impact on Sunday a couple of times, but without fail, my wife Ellen sends her a text message every single Monday inviting her to come to community group, reminding her that we're praying for her and that we miss her. And she went through a stretch when we took the month of December off. She went through a stretch in January where it was hard for her to get re-engaged. But without fail, my wife would send her that text message. And finally, this past week was the first week that my wife didn't send her a message, and she showed up. And that's because she already knew it had become a regular thing for her. So that will happen as we take care of people, as we contact visitors and keep in contact with them. They will eventually show back up if we don't give up. It also says, this will increase our weekly attendance if we contact members regularly. And so he asked this question: if it is not worth encouraging them to attend, why are you doing it? So our community groups are worth encouraging people to attend. And so if you have someone who hasn't been in a while, man, don't feel bad about staying on them. In fact, Northern Virginia is a busy place, so most people want you to continue to invite them and stay on them about it. So don't give up, okay? It also says that it provides a friendly form of accountability. So when you email them every week, when you text them, and I'm not talking about a mass text or a mass email, I'm talking about one-on-one, individual, you're calling them by their name, contacting them every week. It's a friendly form of accountability. You're not mad at them, you're not angry at them, but you are holding them accountable, letting them know that you want them to come. And lastly, it is making sure they come to community group is giving God an opportunity to work in their lives. And so this is a big deal spiritually. to contact them. So it also says it helps a shepherd know his flock. So when you contact people, send them an email, send them a text message, ask them how they're doing, how you can pray for them. It is going to open up all sorts of doors for you to know what's going on in their life and how to minister to them. And then it also talks about, it communicates that you care about them when you contact them. So then he goes through like some suggestions to make contacting people powerful. And so he just talks about like praying for them. Maybe you send an email, subject, I'm praying today, message, how can I pray for you specifically today? They respond, pray for new job opportunities for me. You respond back, okay, anything really specific that you want me to ask God to do for you. They respond, yeah, I want a job in downtown DC that pays this much money. And you say, okay, I'm praying. Maybe you even write out a prayer right there to let them know. And so that's just a powerful way to let them know you care. And then on page 49, there's all sorts of questions. So if you're more introverted and you have a hard time making small talk, you may be really fearful of contacting members on a regular basis. So he lists a whole list of questions that you can ask to break the ice and get to know people. And then he says the most important time to make a contact is really soon, right after they visit. So sending a text message the next morning is really good, or an email. And then for the first few weeks, like we talked about our friend Allison, you want to text them or email them consistently every single week for the first few weeks until it becomes a routine. And then every time they miss, you're going to want to personally contact them, let them know that they were missed, and ask them if everything's okay. And then if there's ever anything awkward that happens inside the group, you can tell someone was depressed, someone shared something that was really vulnerable, there was an awkward dialogue exchange. Make sure you reach out to those people specifically involved to let them know that you're aware and that it's not awkward and you want them to come back. And so that's all good. And then page 50 and 51, he just gives just a lightning round of secrets and how to contact people and why it's important and really good. And so the last part here is your contacting plan, how you're going to contact. So I listed here that I will mainly contact on the weekends. Our group is on Monday, and so I want to make sure I get them over the weekends. So Saturday, Sunday, I'll contact them. I'm going to spend about 30 minutes a week doing this. So that's texting people and calling people on the phone as well. And so I will record my contacting on my Notes app on my iPhone, and I'll also use the City for that. And I'll mainly do email, texting, and then maybe some Facebook messages. And then I'll just ask them how I can pray for them and how work's going and how I can encourage them. So that is it for this session of 8 Habits of an Effective Leader, contacting our members regularly. Hey, if you don't mind, you're going to see my plan for contacting. So why don't you comment below this post, reply to this post, and let me know your plan for contacting, and we'll just do this together, all right? Hey, keep living the dream. I'm thankful and proud of each of you.